Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over the proper foot strike when sprinting and really putting a big emphasis on where on the foot you want to be striking the ground in order to really maximize force production when you're hitting the ground, and then also putting a emphasis on where in comparison to your body your foot wants to be hitting the ground in order to really maximize contact time when you're sprinting. So putting a big focus on two different areas in this video here. As always, if you like the information, go ahead and click the thumbs up button down below. That really helps us out a lot, as well as you can give us any recommendations down below if you have anything for us to do in the future. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, go ahead and do that right now, and we'll go ahead and hop in the video. All right, so we're giving you really a comparison. This is me on both sides, me on the left side and me on the right side. And you know what we're looking at is the different parts of the first where you want to be actually hitting the ground. So big thing that you want to be doing is you want to be hitting the ground really a little bit behind the ball of your foot. You don't want to end up being too much back, like on your heel, like on the left side. I'm trying to run more on the heel here, but you can just see I'm just landing more flat-footed. And really the thought process here is when you see me land, and I don't know if you can see that timestamp, but the timestamp is 56:68. But you know, as you go through, and when I toe off, it's at around 56:91, right? So that ends up being, you know, more than, you know, about 0.23 seconds of time on the ground. And then you compare that to on the right, and I hit the ground at 12:52. I actually think the one on the right, it might be slow motion, but either way, and then I'm off at 12:62. So this is 0.1 in terms of my contact time in comparison to 0.23. And you want to be closer to 0.1 in terms of your contact time. Once you get anything above like 0.15, but that's still way too long of a foot contact time if you're really trying to get elite level of sprinting form and mechanics. And so, you know, just making sure that you're able to optimize that is really, really important. The other mistake that I see with, you know, when you're landing is making it so the foot lands too much on what's called like the forefoot. So you end up landing on like the toe. You almost like point your toe down as you're landing. And this makes it so now you end up losing the stability within the foot. So if you're too much on your toes when you're landing, then you have like a big heel drop after your foot contacts the ground, which then makes it so, again, you end up not being able to generate as much force, and you end up lengthening the contact time a little bit more, really being able to pull your foot down underneath. I do a little bit better job on my right side where I get my foot out in front, and then see how I pull that leg back underneath. That makes it so now you're able to land a little bit more, you know, underneath the ball of your foot, not exactly on the ball of the foot, a little bit back is going to be the perfect really position to be able to land. And everyone's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to add a little thing here to show where around in the area you want to be landing, just so you have a concept there. I will say this: you don't want to be landing too much on the outside part of your foot, right? You don't want to be landing out here, because then you end up going and shifting your weight too much side to side, which then will make it so your legs start to cross over a little bit, which is just an inefficient part of running. You want to be able to really maximize the efficiency in order to run as fast as you can. In order to do that, you really got to be able to, you know, push off and bring your legs straight through and not have them going, you know, too much side to side. The next big thing that I want to talk about is that when your foot's landing, it's a little bit different here on the curve, obviously, because this is a treadmill that like curves upwards as you're running. But what you want to be doing is you want to be landing with your foot the best underneath your hip as you possibly can, right? And so as your foot's coming through, you don't want to end up landing with your foot too far out in front of you. I see that a lot, especially with those heel strikers, when you're landing and your foot is more flat, or, you know, landing with the heel. You're going to land with your foot way further out in front of you. You're going to have your head a lot further out in front of you, which is just going to really, again, impact the foot contact time, and then also make it so you're not able to generate as much force into the ground. So you want to be able to try to land with your foot right underneath you the best that you can. You can see for me, you know, I'm a little bit more out in front of your hip. They say that might not even be possible for you to land with your foot right underneath your hip, but it's something that to always work towards, because it'll make it so your leg is more straight when you're landing. As you get to this point where your foot's right underneath your hip, you want to have that knee as straight as you can, you know, not straight as in facing forward necessarily, more straight as in making it so it's like that way, upright, right? Extended would be the more, I guess, scientific term. Would be extending the knee as your foot's touching the ground, in order to make it so you could generate more force and push off and get a little bit more of a vertical force. If your knee's too bent as you're crossing through here, then you end up going a little bit too horizontal, pushing yourself too forward rather than getting yourself upwards and really creating that vertical force which you want in order to maximize your sprinting. All right, so yeah, make sure that you're landing as close to your foot underneath your hip as you can, and then make sure that you're not landing too much on your forefoot, too much on your heel, but more so on the ball of your of your foot when you're sprinting, and then more on the inside, you know, to middle part of the foot, not getting too much on the outside part of the foot, in order to really maximize the efficiency within the sprint and make it so you're able to really get to those top speeds. All right, as always, guys, thanks for watching these videos. I hope it'll help you out a lot. If you have any questions for me, again, you can leave those in the comments down below. We'd be happy to help you out. And as always, if you have any interest in joining our programs, we have a lot of different things in the description below. We have a breakdown that we could do for you. We have a 7-day trial that you could even try. You can get into our 3-month speed program. It's a huge benefit to be able to do that. And we have a couple different free links that you have as well, where you have like an ebook and 5 ways to get faster and a few different things that will be able to help you out. So as always, thanks for watching this, and we'll talk to you soon.